everyone, and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name's Amanda, and in today's video I have a brand new launch. So today Kiki London launched 3 new brushes to their Pro Nail Art brush range, and I have been so excited to share them with you. So here are the 3 new brushes that are launching. They are now live on the website, which is linked in the description box below. So first up we have a dust brush, which looks so cute. And then next up we have the new 01 French brush. We are obviously going to take a closer look, unpackage these, and I will be doing a demonstration with them as well. And the third brush in their collection is the 01 Fan brush. I've been really excited to get these in action, so I hope you all enjoy them as much as I am. So first up we have the dust brush. Now this is going to be so handy when it comes to doing your nail prep and a lot of your finish filing, because it's going to help clean away all of that dust. It has a short handle which makes it really easy to hold, and it has very soft yet sturdy bristles. All of the Kiki London brush bristles are vegan as well. We will use this and do a little demonstration with it. I just wanted to unpackage everything to start off with. So then the next brush we have is the fan brush. So this is a nail art brush. You can use this to create brush-like nail art. Obviously you can let your imagination run wild with the kind of designs you create, but it basically creates really fun fanned out brush strokes, and it is also great for applying your glitters as well. So again, we will demonstrate that further along in the video. As you can see, it's got quite short but sturdy bristles. And then the third one, which is my absolute favorite one of the 3, I have to be honest, this brush was very unique to me, but I've been really loving it. So here we have the French brush. So as you can see, it has a curved bristle and it allows you to do a 2-stroke French manicure. So it makes French a hell of a lot easier than doing it with, say, your striped liner brush or however you are used to doing French. This brush was very unique to me. I've not used anything like this before, but I am really loving it. The 01 French brush does come with a lid as well, so it's very similar, or exactly the same really, as your previous Kiki London Pro Nail Art brushes. So first of all, I want to show you guys a little bit more of a closer look of the dust brush. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to buff over a nail tip. So this is a press-on nail tip, and this is how I would usually prep these if I was doing a press-on design. So as you see, I buffed over the surface, and then because the bristles are so soft, it removes all of the dust very easily. I'm now going to come in and take my Kiki London file and just shape the nail a little bit. Again, this is what I would do if I was going to be wearing press-on nails. Just sharpen up that shape a little bit. I don't tend to do too much shaping because they are already pre-shaped. And then again, the brush is so easy for dusting off all of that. You can use this as well when you're dusting off, say, your finish filing of your builder gel application or polygel, acrylics, any time where you need to remove a dust from the nails, this can be used. The bristles are very soft, but they're very sturdy as well, and because it's a short compact brush, it makes cleanup very easy. Now we're going to try out the French brush. So first of all, I needed a base to work on top of. So I have got the beautiful 04 from the Kiki London coloured rubber base collection. This is one of my favourite colours for doing a classic pink and white French. It is more of a darker pink, but I love these tones personally on myself. Now, as you already see, I prepped my nail tip. If you was working on yourself or a client, you would need to do all of your natural nail prep as well. Then I'm going to really scrub in that first layer of rubber base coat and cure that for 30 seconds. And then I'm also going to be using this for the colour as well. So I'm going to come in and apply a second coat just to get a nice full opaque colour. This is another thing I love about the rubber coloured bases, is you can just do a 2-step manicure of your base and colour in one and then a top coat. But of course, in this design, we're going to be adding on the French design. So I'm going to take my Kiki London palette, and then I'm going to take coconut. Coconut is my favourite white to do a French manicure with because it's very bright. So I'm going to take a small amount of that onto my palette, making sure that I've got enough because we're going to really work this through the bristles to get a nice application. But you really don't need loads because we are only working on one nail. Then I've got my cured colour, and I'm going to take that 01 French brush. Now, because it is new, you might just gently want to run your fingers very gently just to soften the bristles ever so slightly, just where it has been packaged. I always find I do this with any new brushes that I get. Then I'm going to load it up. Now, to load it up, I'm simply running my brush through that gel polish. And I'm really working it into the bristles. So you can see I'm applying a bit of pressure down on that palette to make sure that it's really going through all the bristles and loading up a nice amount. And then you are simply going to take this and do 2 swipes to create a French manicure. So to start off with, I'm just kind of roughly lining up where I want my French to go before making contact with the nail. Then when I've worked out how far down the nail I want my French tip to go, I'm simply doing a stroke, and then I'm doing exactly the same on the other side. If you feel that you need a little bit more gel polish or you want to come over and perfect it, you can. Now with the French brush, you can create quite natural or deep smile lines. This one I would say is somewhere in between a natural and deep. You could make this deeper if you wanted it to, and you could also make it look a lot more natural if you wanted to. I kind of just went for somewhere in the middle. Now here you see I just messed it up a little bit as I was showing you guys the smile line. So I'm just going to clean that up with a little bit of alcohol on my angled nail art brush. My angled nail art brush I do use a lot for cleanup, and to be quite honest, I was quite happy with this French before I come in and knocked it, so it didn't necessarily need much of a cleanup, but the option's there if you want to perfect your design. So I cured that first coat, and then we're going to go in and do exactly the same. Now I was a little bit worried that the second coat of this would be tricky because you've got to line up and come exactly over what you've done on the first coat, but it was very, very easy. It's another brush where you've got to let the brush do a lot of the work for you. So the hardest bit that I found is lining up where you want the French lines to go and how far down you want the C curve of the French to go. But then you just need to place that brush down, anchor your little finger onto your thumb so you've got a nice steady hand, and then just let the gel polish stroke down the nail tip. I found this very, very easy to do on a stiletto nail tip, which I thought would have been a little bit harder than say a square or a round. We are going to do it on a coffin shaped nail as well. So here I'm just coming over here, and I'm mainly doing this just to even out the gel polish application and make sure I'm happy with it. I had smudged that little curve at the tip part of the smile line there, so I'm going to again just clean up using my angled nail art brush. This is completely optional. I just wanted to make sure it was as perfect as I could get it. Now I did find the French brush very, very easy. If you've watched the channel, you'll see how I normally do a French nail using my stripe liner brush, and this was a lot quicker. So whilst that's curing, I just want to quickly show you guys how I clean my brushes. So I take one of the Kiki London alcohol pads, and I'm very, very gently just running the bristles through these damp alcohol pads. Now you can do this as well as cleaning using a clear gel product. So if you don't want to use one of the alcohol pads, you can also pop down either some top coat or base coat on your palette and run your brush through it until it runs through clear. So I was very, very happy with how this French looked. This C curve, or the depth of this French tip, was perfect for my preference. I tend to go for a little bit more of a deeper C curve than a natural looking French tip, so I really loved how this one turned out. But like I said, the brush is very flexible, so you can create a lot more of a natural French tip or a more deeper one if you wish. This was what the nail looked like once we had top coated, and I absolutely loved it. I think you can't beat a classic pink and white French, and the new French brush just makes it a hell of a lot easier to do. It's also great for getting consistency as well, because it's a lot easier to work out when you're doing, say, a full set of French nails. You're able to see by using the brush how far down you need to come, if that makes sense. So I wanted to do another French tip. I've already done the base exactly the same on the previous nail, but this time I wanted to do a nice bright tip for the summer. So I'm taking a Paradise Red from the new Exotic Summer collection. And as we had already cleaned up our French brush, it's ready to go. So again, loading it up with my gel polish, really working it through the bristles, just going backwards and forwards a few times until I'm happy with the amount I've got loaded up. And this time I'm going to go for a little bit more of a natural look. So I don't want the wings of that smile line to come down as deep as what it did on the previous nail. We have still got quite a lot of a French tip going on because it is quite a long nail, but as you can see, no matter the length of the nail, you would be able to do this. You'd still be able to create a really nice deep tip as well on a short nail due to the way the angles of the bristles are. Again, with that second coat, you're literally painting over the top of the previous one. Now, I can't wait to share some more designs using this brush with you guys. I love doing French designs, and I think as well with this one, we're going to be able to create a lot of alternative French designs as well. I really love that whole angled half French tip, which would be so super easy to do with this design. Now, you can come in and play about with this as much as you want. You can use the longer side of the angle brush to come down the side and make your tip deeper if you wanted to. Like I said, I wanted to keep this one a little bit more natural looking, so we're not creating that deep curve of the tip. It's more natural compared to what, say, your natural free edge would look like. And then once again, once you're happy with your coloured tip and you've cured it, you're just going to come in and seal with your top coat. And this was the finished result. So if you do have any questions on the French brush or any particular techniques you'd like to see done with it, if you'd like to see it demoed on short natural nails, pop me a comment below and I'll be happy to create any videos for you guys. Next up, we're going to try out the fan brush. So for this one, I've already done 2 coats of coconut. So I've got a nice white base to work on top of. And I'm going to take 3 more colours from the Exotic Summer collection. So here we have Just Peachy, Pink Me Up and Watermelon Sugar. I'm really loving these brights at the moment. So I thought, seeing as we were doing some demos using the new brushes, we had to use the latest colours that had been released as well. So I popped these 3 colours down onto my palette. I'm just going to load up my brush with all 3 colours. So as you can see, I've got the Watermelon Sugar on one end, then Pink Me Up, and then Just Peachy. And then taking the loaded fan brush, I'm just going to gently brush across the nail with all 3 colours. And it's basically going to create a bit like an ombre because we've applied all 3 colours to the brush. But because of the amount of pressure we're applying, it's blending those colours together. But then on the edges, I'm using lighter pressure to keep those brush strokes on the nail. And that's what's amazing about this brush, is you can create very different effects with it, depending on the amount of product you have on your bristles and the amount of pressure you apply. The more pressure you apply, the less of the bristled effect you get. Same with the more product you've got on there. But if you work with a little less product, you create more of the brush stroke effect. So on top of this, I'm just going to finish it off with a water decal just to create a bit of a tropical design. And then we are going to do another design using this brush, so I can just show you a bit more of a fanned effect with it, because on this now I blended the colours together a little bit more and it kind of just gives me more of an ombre effect, which is brilliant because it was very easy to do, especially for 3 colours. But I did also love how we've still got the brush strokes around the edges, so I wanted to recreate that a little bit more in a design. Again, the bristles on this brush are vegan friendly, the same as all the other Kiki London brushes, which is something that I'm very passionate about myself, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. Now we've got the water decal applied, I'm just going to seal that in, and I felt as though this created a really fun abstract vibe. I definitely feel I'll get a lot more use out of this brush when creating abstract designs. So like I said, this was a very easy nail art design. Same again, we're going to come in with our coconut base, and then this time I've got a couple of neon colours. So I've got my palette again, and I'm going to start off with this gorgeous orange, which is Me Lava. All of these colours I believe are from the neon collection. I wanted to make sure again we got in some brights for the summer. So next up we have Yellow Caution. I really felt as well though as though these 4 colours worked really fun together in the set of nails as well. And then for the purple we have Diva. I love this purple, it's so bright. It's definitely one that I like to use a lot in the summer, but it's just a gorgeous, it's a little bit more creamy than the other neons in this palette we've got here, but it's still really bright. And then lastly we have Acid Green. So I've just popped a small amount of them down on the palette because you don't need loads of gel polish on your palette when you are doing your designs. And then I'm going to take that fan brush. I had cleaned it off a little bit, but I weren't stressing too much about getting all the product off because I was going to be using it again. And here you can see I'm just running into the gel polish, but then on my palette I'm rubbing off some of the excess so that we create more of that stroked effect. And then I'm just just very lightly brushing this on. It is a little bit hard to see the yellow because of the lighting, but once it's top coated you can see it a little bit more. So again, going into the colour but then rubbing off a lot of that excess, because if you've only got a small amount on the brush you see more of the brush strokes, which was the effect that I was going for. But you're going to be able to create so many fun designs with this. I've been looking on Pinterest and I have so many ideas, so I can't wait to share them with you all. But again, if there's anything in particular you would like to see tried out, do pop it in the comments below and I will give it a go. So once I had done the design, I've popped this into cure for 30 seconds and this is what the finished result looked like. I loved the way it looked quite rough, again quite abstract looking, but it was really fun, and because of the fan brush it was very easy to do. I did a design recently, I think it was a jungle themed set of nails on the channel, and I did something similar to this but with my ombre brush, so I definitely want to have a go recreating that design but with the fan brush, because I think with the fan brush it would be a little bit easier. So for this design I did decide to matte top coat, so this is what the result looked like once it had been matte top coated. And for me this is kind of like a base for another layer of nail art. I definitely would maybe pop some stamping over this or even some foils, and I think it would look really fun. One last thing I wanted to try out with the fan brush was a glitter application. So I've already got my rubber coloured base done. I'm then going to come in with a layer of the Kiki London regular base coat, and this is just going to be so my glitter's got something more to stick to. And then what I'm going to do is take that fan brush, I've got no product on it, and then I'm just going to dip into my raw glitter. And because of the way the thickness and the strength in these bristles, you're able to just pick up a small amount of glitter at a time and lightly tap it down, which is excellent when you're doing gel polish designs, because when you're doing gel polish nails with glitter, you don't want to be adding lots of glitter. So the fan brush allowed me to pick up just a small amount of glitter at a time and place it down very gently on the nail, which I absolutely loved, because I have tried doing this with my ombre brush and I have tried doing it with a round brush as well, which you would have seen in the previous videos, but I can never get as light layer as what I did by doing it with the fan brush. So this would definitely be my go-to brush now for doing any kind of glitter fades. I did top coat this with the no wipe rubber top coat for that extra layer of thickness to seal in all of our glitters. Now that's the demonstration finish, and these were the 5 designs that I created. Do let me know in the comments below what you think of the new Kiki London brushes. I can't wait to see social media flooded with the designs that you guys are all going to create with them. Like I said, link is in the description box below, and also if you have any questions I am more than happy to help. So do pop us a comment below, either let us know what you think of the new brushes or what you would like to be seen done with them all. Here is one last little look at them, and then towards the end of the video I have also left some pictures of the nails and some of the Kiki London marketing images as well, which explain a few things about the brushes. If you do check out the website, we will have pre-sales and I think some bundles available as well, so do check that out, as well as don't forget our original pro nail art brushes are also still available on the Kiki London website as well. I think there's a bundle now where you can purchase these in with the new brushes as well. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, then please do give it a thumbs up and leave us a comment below, and if you haven't already subscribed, I'd absolutely love it if you did. Lots of love, take care, bye bye.